All right, everyone, welcome back here. We will be doing another replay cast here as we have the last quarterfinals match of the Paradise League Grand Finale that was not casted over on Honcast. This one will be Good Clan Ragex on the Legion side, going to be taking on NoJPnoWin here on the Hellborn side. So two American teams duking it out here in the quarterfinals, looking to move on to that semifinal number 2 where they will take on Polymorph, who won their quarterfinal match. So this is game number 1 coming at you here in a best of 3 series. I will once again be doing a solo cast here as we have the bands taking place here. Got a lot of chat going on between the two teams. We got the Rally going to be the first band here, followed up by the Magnus for our Legion side. One more band coming up for them. We have the Ophelia band and the Puppet Master as the first two bands coming out from the Hellborn side. So we saw in the last quarterfinal match, we saw Puppet Master played in both games 1 and 2. He did quite well in both games, but unfortunately fell short in game number 1. He's going to get banned out here in the first wave of bans. That Whiplash buff proving to be very, very solid. On top of that, Elder Parasite. Puppet Master very strong in the early game. We're going to have one more band coming out for each side here as the teams are thinking about those bands. We got the Rhapsody band going to be the third band. The Sapphire going to be the third band from our Hellborn side. So we won't get to see any Sapphire here in game number 1. The Rhapsody and the Sapphire both receiving some buffs. The Disco Inferno getting some buff to the healing as well as being able to move with the Rhapsody. The Sapphire getting a buff to her Crystallize, lowered cast time, as well as lowered cooldown on the Unstable Shard. So those will be the final bands coming out. We have the Master of Arms going to be the first pick here for the Legion side. We now have the Glacius picked up for the Hellborn side. They have one more pick coming up. We will see what they do decide to go for here. So both teams looks like picking up a support. Could also see that Master of Arms in a carry role, but as of late we've been seeing him played quite a bit in more of that supportive style of role. So the Hellborn side here, they will take their time here with that second pick. They're thinking about what they want to go for. Gonna use some of their extra time here, so it looks like they're not too sure what they want to pick up. But the bands across the board is pretty straightforward. The Rally band, I suppose, is a little bit of an interesting one, but he is quite popular with a lot of the teams. So I could understand the Rally band there, but it's not your typical blind band hero. They pick up the Gladiator, so they pick up a Gladiator there as a initiator. Could be that second support Gladiator, but it also could be a laning core Gladiator, which very flexible hero, can be played in many roles, and going to be interested to see what they do decide to go for with that Gladiator pickup. So we now have we have two picks coming up for the Legion side before we enter into the next wave of bands. So our Legion side here also going to use some overtime here, thinking about what they want to pick up. They're going to go with an Aluna and a Sir Bensington. So the Sir Bensington, as we're kind of used to seeing, kind of screams tri-lane, especially with the Aluna, lots of burst with the power throw. If they do run that Master of Arms in a supporter role, then they do have the full tri-lane picked up there. But yeah, still unsure of if that's going to be the case. But for now, it's looking like it's going to be a tri-lane coming out from our Legion side with the Bensington pickup. So we're going to see the bans now taking place. We have the Bombardier and the Predator going to be banned out from our Hellborn side. They have one more ban ready to go before we enter into the next pick wave, where they now have 3 picks to respond to this Sir Bensington pickup. The Zephyr and the Oogie are going to be banned out here by the Legion side to start things off. So some of those tanky farmers. They're going to finish it off with the Doctor Repulsor ban. So a lot of carries getting addressed here, but also the Bombardier, as they do still need some solo laners for that mid lane. The last ban will be the Pebbles, coming out from Good Clan Rejects. So going to address an initiator here for the mid lane. Now we have the second wave of picks coming up. Myrmidon going to be the first pick here. So they pick up another support to follow up that Glacius. They have a Gladiator picked up already. Kind of interesting. Are they going to be running a Myrmidon Gladiator dual lane, or will it be a tri-lane with the final pick being the tri-lane hero? They pick up an Arachna, so they might be looking to send that to a solo lane, either the short lane or the mid lane. They could still dual lane the Arachna, but I think they might want that hero as a solo laner somewhere. Right now it's looking like mid lane. So they don't really have the best mid laner picked up, but they still could swap that up with their final pick. We have 2 more picks coming up for the Legion side here. So we talked about potential tri-lane Bensington. In that case, they would be looking to pick up some solo laners. They go with the Gauntlet. So Gauntlet typically the mid hero. But if it ends up being a Gauntlet versus Arachna matchup, that is not a matchup I think Gauntlet will be too happy about facing. The Arachna, very, very strong slows in the laning phase. Also has that extra magic armor from the Carapace. So Gauntlet versus Arachna doesn't really scream to me the best matchup. They finish it off with the Calamity, so they are going to go with that duo core. Sir Bensington Calamity. This will be a support Master of Arms. So it's looking like a tri-lane from the Legion side, at least for now. They finish it off with a Deadwood to follow up that Arachna and Myrmidon pick. So they are going to be going more of that core Gladiator, it looks like, with the Arachna and then the Deadwood to either go into that long lane or the mid lane matchup. We could see a Deadwood against Gauntlet matchup as well, with Arachna could be in the short lane with that Glacius, and potentially Myrmidon. Gonna be interested to see here how the Hellborn team decides to set up their laning phase, because they have some very strong laning heroes between the Arachna, the Deadwood, and the Gladiator. Throw an Ice Imprisonment on top of that, and you could definitely net some kills, but not too sure what they're thinking about doing just yet. We have Glacius porting up to the top lane. It looks like we have the Okay, so as we suspected, the Sir Bensington tri-lane, Gauntlet in the mid lane. Calamity will start, it looks like, solo bottom. Then we have Gladiator and Myrmidon, so they are going to be doing 2-1-2. Okay. So 2-1-2 to start things off. Deadwood in mid against Gauntlet. Arachna going to be more of that farmer this game against the Sir Bensington. Going to be interested to see here if the... So, ooh, Aluna's rotating bottom, it looks like. She's got a word of sight on her. Will it end up being 2-1-2, or will they stick to the tri-lane? Now, if they do still run that Bensington tri-lane, that would force the Myrmidon to come up here and protect that Arachna, which would leave Gladiator in a 1 versus 1 against Calamity, which I feel like Calamity Calamity with those dragons, she will be a little bit too scary for the Gladiator being melee. We normally think of Gladiator as a very strong laner 1 versus 1, but the Calamity just too much damage output between the dragons. Being able to run at you and kind of keep her distance at the same time. So Aluna, she does make her way up here to the top lane. This will be kind of scary here for Calamity going 2 versus 1. Once the Gladiator gets the showdown and the pitfall, they could look to pick up a kill here on the Calamity. But until then, I don't think Calamity is really going to be too threatened here as long as she is kind of near her tower. She's going to see the dual lane come out right away. We're going to have the tri-lane here from the Legion side, 3 versus 2. Rachna, ooh, there's the Sir Bensington stun and the Emerald Lightning. They stack the stuns. The Master of Arms overcharge shot on top. Will it be enough damage for a kill? No, it will not. I believe that they stacked those 2 stuns there. And that will mean Arachna survives on the 40 life. So she will be just fine. Need to send herself a potion. And they will do a pull here. It looks, or, well, not yet. But they will look to do a pull here. Master of Arms immediately TPs into the bot lane. So it will turn into 2-1-2. Gauntlet versus Deadwood. 4-1 against 6-2. Gauntlet so far winning that matchup. Sir Bensington going to be tanking a lot of creeps here. That's a massive creep wave coming out from the Hellborn side. They get the level 2s on the side of Legion. Calamity, she's 4-1 against the 7-3 Gladiator. So Gladiator with the 2 versus 1 start has picked up the better end of the last hitting. But now with Master of Arms here, this could change as they have double ranged against melee ranged. Gauntlet continues to win in the last hits in mid lane by slight lead. We'll see a pull come out here from Myrmidon. Acid Bomb is down, going to prevent the Gladiator from farming here at the pull camp, which will give the space here to Calamity and to take those last hits. What's the Sir Bensington doing? He's 9-3 against a 10-1 Arachna, so quite even up here in the top lane. Looks like the top rune was already taken. Rotten Grasp will connect there on the Gauntlet. Still ahead in creep farm, 16-5 against 12-2. Pretty even in the bot lane, 14-5 against 14-2. So Gladiator still winning in last hits. Myrmidon taking a lot of pressure there. He specs the waveform. Gauntlet coming in without even having a rune here as he tries to punish their overextension, but he will be going back to his mid lane where he's given up a bit of farm there to the Deadwood. Now Deadwood 22-2 as Gauntlet was missing there, also lacking the experience, about half a level behind. The Deadwood hitting level 6 before could mean Willowmaker into an eventual kill on the Gauntlet as well. We're gonna have an overcharge shot come out. Here comes a pitfall beautifully placed onto 2 without the showdown setup. Great pitfall coming in from Gladiator. Deadwood, he was thinking about setting up a gank here in the top lane, but he decides to fall back. So both mids trying to set up ganks in their short lane, but not going to be successful. That's going to give Gauntlet a little space now to get his level 6. Who's going to win the race here, and will there be a kill? 1 versus 1. Deadwood, he will land the Rotten Grasp. Still no bloodlust kill 5 minutes into the game. Very, very slow start here to game number 1. Mid lane, I missed it. I talked about a bloodlust kill, and boy, I should have caught it on cam. There was the gauntlet blast, and it looks like Deadwood. Still level 5, no Willowmaker, so there's the race to level 6. Weedfield gonna land here, but now Myrmidon, he's forced to waveform to safety. Gladiator already used his pitfall, so nobody will end up falling here. Here comes a showdown into a pitfall. Myrmidon, though, without the most mana. Is it going to end up falling here? The dragons from Calamity will take him out. Myrmidon will end up falling there. Regen rune will be used here by the Deadwood. He now has the Willowmaker ready to go. See if he has enough damage to bring down a 1000 HP gauntlet. Top rune will spawn haste here, which will be bottled up by the gauntlet. Ooh, Willowmaker was attempted there on the Master of Arms. Going to miss the Rotten Grasp. Pitfall, not going to connect here. Here's the log into... Oh, the hook back from Gauntlet. Are they going to look to turn this one around? Now Gladiator is here. Here comes the Willowmaker. The Sunder's Vault, though, from Calamity is going to hit onto 2. Haste activated here by Gauntlet, and Gladiator, he's going to fall. Now Deadwood, he's going to be in some trouble as well. Hasted Gladiator still activated. He's going to try to do the jukes. Here comes the Fist. They're going to get the kill on the Myrmidon, and Deadwood will also fall. That Haste coming into play there big time. A beautiful hook coming in from Gauntlet to save Master of Arms from the Deadwood as well. So... 2 minutes ago, it was a 0-0 score. Now we have a 5-0 hero kill lead in favor of Good Clan Rejects. Bensington, he's looking to get aggressive here. Here comes a joust into the stun, into the power throw, and Arachna with the Carapace not going to be enough to prevent her death as she does fall. The Glacius going to take some pressure here, but they will fall back. So 6-0 hero kill lead now in favor of the Legion side. If we take a look at the GPMs, we have the top 3 farmers all belonging to the Legion side. Gladiator, the only one, or the top farmer on his team at 222 gold per minute. Not the most impressive GPMs, as both the Deadwood and the Myrmidon have fallen to 0 and 2 scores. Luna will take that rune there away from the Deadwood, and bot lane, it looks like Myrmidon actually snagged that bottom rune. Gauntlet coming up empty-handed as well, so both mid players not getting a rune here, unfortunately, at the 8-minute mark to refill those bottles. Level 6 on the Arachna. We'll see if they go for any kills here. Got Master of Arms rotating into the mid lane. Calamity. Just going to eat a fish there, but she's going to be just fine. Gauntlet has his ultimate ready to go. Maybe they'll try a Nightfall into a Gauntlet Blast into a Nightfall. Yep. Here comes the joust in from Bensington, the stun from Aluna, the power throw, one more auto attack. No, the power spike comes in, the freeze from Glacius on the Sir Bensington, preventing any follow-up. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, Calamity, all by herself, takes out the Myrmidon. As she picks up the Astrolabe, she's a bit too tanky there, top of those Ghost Marchers. I think Myrmidon didn't expect the damage to come out there from Calamity. That was a solo kill. Gauntlet's still not using his Gauntlet Blast. He's had this up for quite a while. I'd like to see them use their spells. Deadwood also with a Willowmaker. Would like to see a rotation in from either the Myrmidon or the Gladiator. Kind of set up some kills here. So we see Legion now pulling ahead with a 6,000 gold and 5,000 experience lead, which is reflected here in the GBMs. Myrmidon, he decides to try to set up a kill in the top lane, but they don't really look to go for anything. Gladiator has now decided to start jungling, as he feels he can't really do anything against this Calamity. Complete control coming out there from the bot lane. Here comes a Gauntlet Blast in the mid lane onto the Deadwood. There's the Gladiator Chariot and the Nightfall from Bensington. Deadwood, he will get locked down. The wheat field is used there. Bensington, he will fall, but now Luna and Calamity have ported in with Master of Arms. Myrmidon does fall, and it's a 2-for-1 as Bensington the one to fall in exchange for both the Deadwood and the Myrmidon. They will now group up here in the mid lane. It's Calamity diving past the tower, putting out some pressure there with the dragons. We have Gauntlet with the Invis-Rune, so they're looking to set up a kill here. Glacius, I believe, was spotted in the trees, and she will get stuck here. The fist comes out from Gauntlet into the hook back, and that will be the serial killer streak coming out for Gauntlet. This tower will fall as 4 players are here, and that will further extend the gold lead now to 9,000 with a 6,000 experience lead. So a great fight coming out here from our Legion side. Bensington will make his way into the bot lane, where we have a TP coming in from the Master of Arms. We have Calamity and Aluna making their way to the top lane. Gauntlet with another haste rune. That's a deadly Gauntlet, as he's got the Gauntlet Blast coming up in 5 more seconds. Already level 10. So he's the top XPM in the game. Deadwood is in the bot lane now. Still without those Ghost Marchers, only sitting on 187 gold per minute. Calamity will rotate into the top lane. Bensington will take over the bot lane. Gauntlet now with the portal key picked up. He activates the haste rune. They actually killed the Gladiator. I missed that while I was talking. Looks like they used the Gauntlet Blast there. Arachna, she's only 225 gold per minute. She's going to pour it into the bot lane. Looks like Bensington, he will go for a dive on the Myrmidon, but Myrmidon will pour it out. So top lane, they're pressuring the tower here. We have a bunch of players here in the mid lane. Here comes the stun from Master of Arms. Deadwood will get hooked out of the Rotten Grasp with Gauntlet. They will take out the Deadwood. They're looking to turn it on to the Gladiator now. Here comes Myrmidon though, waddling his fishy butt over here. Calamity will continue to push in the top lane. Was that a Storm Spirit picked up by Moa? There's no way he has a Storm Spirit. I think that was the Storm Spirit recipe. A huge hook here in the bot lane onto Glacius. Glacius will end up falling. Solo kill coming out there from the Gauntlet. Ultimate Warrior streak on top. Bensington, he's got 3,000 gold saved up. I think we're going to see the Thunderclaw, which that one is about 3,000. I think he'll just buy it in full. Gladiator going to do some jungling here, but not a whole lot of stuff So really talk about here for our Hellborn side, the GPM chart's just very, very minimal. Tower will fall here in favor of Hellborn. Deadwood, he's looking for a kill here. The Gladiator, or excuse me, the Calamity. She's going to get Willowmakered up. She already used the Astrolabe. She's holding her ground, but she will fall to the Deadwood. And now the Chariot on top hits onto several heroes. The Power Throw comes in onto Gladiator. Gladiator will fall. The buyback happens onto Arachna. She did fall first. And now Myrmidon, he's trying to make the escape. The Acid Bomb doing some good damage there. And Myrmidon will fall. Deadwood will fall back here in the trees. The CC vote comes out from our Hellborn side. Not going through right away, but a 16-2 hero kill lead. It looks like NoJPnoWin has had enough. They will concede here at the almost 16-minute mark. So the laning phase not going their way here in game number 1, as Good Clan Rejects will take that game very, very decisively. And we will go on a short break here. We'll get into game number 2 in a moment.